It's a great time to be a WoW player in 2023. World of Warcraft players currently have so many things to look forward to in every version of the game. Whether you're playing Wrath, Classic Era, Hardcore, or Dragonflight, there is something to look forward to for everyone. I'm going to start with talking about Wrath of the Lich King because it is where I spend most of my time in the game. In Wrath of the Lich King Classic, we are currently in the middle of Ulduar. Ulduar has been a nice challenge and many guilds are still progging on something in Ulduar, whether that be hard modes, Algalon, or even Yogg 0, which is what my guild is currently working on. Ulduar has been very well received in my opinion, and as someone who had never experienced Ulduar prior to this release, I think it lives up to the hype. Progging hard modes was a lot of fun and it felt good each time we got a boss down. Progressing on Algalon in particular was something I wasn't even sure we could do, but when we killed him on 25 man, I could not believe it. We had finally achieved what I thought was the pinnacle besides Yogg 0 of Ulduar. Progressing on the Algalon fight in particular was some of the most fun that I've had in Classic WoW. It's been a great time, and even though I still completely hate the Vezex fight each week worse and worse, I look forward to raiding Ulduar every week. With Trial of the Crusader coming in the future, I think everyone has something fun to look forward to. Trial of the Crusader, at least on normal mode, is a step back in difficulty compared to Ulduar and is a much faster raid. The gear in there is going to be great for a lot of classes and will make gearing up much easier if you've been struggling in Ulduar hard modes. Having this powerful gear available may also be a benefit to you in your raid and may make the difference on certain bosses you may have been struggling with. Even if you're not struggling in Ulduar, Heroic Trial of the Grand Crusader will bring the first actual heroic content to the game, which is exciting in itself. It will also give us new bosses to parse on, new DPS rankings, and possible new buffs and changes from Blizzard, like we've seen for Feral Druid and Ret Paladin. The arrival of Trial also means we are almost to Icecrown Citadel, which I know I am extremely excited for. It's always fun to be in the phase where you're absolutely geared to the teeth and everyone is scaling their absolute hardest. DPS becomes truly competitive and we see specs like Fury Warrior and Fire Mage come fully online. I expect other classes to be scaling extremely well now, and I can't wait to see how Unholy DK and Hunter does. Morb Unholy spec was something I had never heard of until Wrath of the Lich King Classic, which is why I had to try it. And when it has full gear, I think it is going to go through the roof. But will it be able to compete with Fire Mage and a Warrior? And how will Pharaohs and Rets scale with their new buffs? I'm really interested to see how things shake out there. There's another raid that comes after ICC, which is Ruby Sanctum, and I don't know much about this raid, but no one seems excited for it at all, so I'm really not sure what to expect. Maybe I'll put a video out on it later just to force myself to do some research on it. And the last thing that I will mention for Wrath Classic is the inevitability of Cataclysm Classic. I never raided it all in Cataclysm, and I would honestly love to play it this time around on several alts. Some of the class rework C classes like Retribution Paladin go from a relatively simple to play class to one of the most complex classes in Cataclysm. It's an expansion that I'm less familiar with than Wrath of the Lich King, and so I'd be very excited to play through it, also knowing that Mists of Pandaria was coming after. And onto WoW Classic Era. WoW Classic Era is absolutely popping off right now. It is exploding. It is thriving. If you log into Whitemane at 8 AM, you will absolutely see people in Stormwind, all level ranges, people leveling new characters. It didn't surprise me at all when the Classic Era servers were complete ghost towns after TBC released, and I expected them to remain that way. I am honestly shocked to see how popular the game is becoming once again, and I'm eternally regretting not cloning my 53 warrior back in the day when TBC launched. There are raiding guilds once again, and battlegrounds are popping, and since I did not get to play WoW Classic at 60 before TBC hit, I would love to go back and experience it now. I think the more people that play, the more validated everyone will feel making a character on these servers. With Blizzard linking the servers together, they have ensured that there are always new people to play with and the world feels more populated. I thought it would take a whole new Classic launch to see a resurgence to vanilla, but here we are, almost a few years later, and Blizzard has essentially created a time loop that we are stuck in. But there is a constant question of if we are going to receive a new vanilla Classic fresh server. People are asking for it constantly, and people want the certainty of the patch cycles, the guaranteed time gating to preserve certain content. People want to experience it all over again, and I'm here for it. Will Blizzard do this? I honestly don't know. I don't think they've mentioned anything about doing Classic fresh servers again, although please leave me a comment down below if they have mentioned this. I think it's likely that Blizzard sticks to using Season of Mastery as their way of doing vanilla WoW over, but then that begs the question of what about TBC? Will they do a Season of Mastery that's focused on the Burning Crusade? And would it really be as popular as vanilla WoW? I for one remember TBC to be my favorite expansion from my childhood, but I've actually ended up preferring Wrath of the Lich King much over TBC this time around. And we cannot talk about the future of Classic WoW without talking about Hardcore WoW. I think it has done a huge amount for the game's popularity and has given us a unique way to experience WoW again after all these years. It's the freshest and newest form of content we've received for WoW in a long time, and the whole thing is player made, community made. Now we see mentions of official hardcore servers in data mines, and this is just kind of crazy. A lot of people are questioning if hardcore servers will just be as simple as if your character dies, you only have one life, and that's it. I'm kind of wondering the same thing, as the true hardcore experience also involves no trading, no auction house, no grouping, which makes for a really unique experience. With Soul of Iron previously being implemented on classic servers for Season of Mastery, I am hopeful that Blizzard will make enough changes to the hardcore servers to make them distinct. I would be shocked to see them actually put something in the game that allowed you to choose whether you wanted to enable or disable auction house for your playthrough, but I also don't think it would be too difficult for them to implement either. And the fact that Blizzard will likely not be able to do anything about griefs or accidental deaths like the Hardcore Classic add-on does may mean they're setting themselves up for failure. But we will have to wait and see. For the first time in years, between seeing the buffs and nerfs in Wrath of the Lich King and seeing the possibility of hardcore becoming a realized official game mode for WoW, it almost feels like Blizzard is paying attention and giving us some of the things that we asked for. There are still issues with bots running rampant, and I'm not sure how they will handle the hardcore servers, but it's nice to see some forward momentum for WoW Classic. And I just want to mention, I have leveled a few classes in Dragonflight, and I've run some mythic dungeons up to a +9 or something like that, and while it is fun, I'm literally just addicted to Wrath of the Lich King Classic, and now I'm getting into hardcore, both of which are pretty big time investments. Of course, I'm eager to see what's next for Retail WoW 2, as I have no idea what the next expansion could possibly be, but I can't wait to see what's next. Hopefully they're adding a new class or something new to try like that would bring me back to the game. I have heard rumors of a pirate themed expansion, but I really don't know how grounded those really are, grounded in reality. Anyway, I hope this video was interesting to watch in some way and maybe helpful to someone out there. I hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching.